All right, welcome to day 4. Future Melissa here. I didn't do a good job introing this, so let me tell you about the excursion that we are on. So it's called the Best of Saint John. So 6 hours and 30 minutes, moderate activity level. So in this one, you get to see a lot. You are on the bus quite a bit, but you do get to see a lot. The Bay of Fundy, Reversing Rapids. You actually go there twice. Old City Market, St. Martin's. Historic Trinity Royal area. You go to an Irish pub. They do also give you like a little mini lunch. So the Bay of Fundy, the Reversing Rapids. So you get to see it in the morning and then kind of towards the end of the excursion. The St. Martin and the Sea Caves, which were really cool. Very nerve-wracking trying to get over those rocks, but it was really cool. And then you also get a Moosehead beer at an Irish pub. And they also had some Irish musicians in there, which were really cool. Our guide was also really great, really tied in like why Moosehead and, you know, what it does for the area and things like that. So I hope you enjoy this excursion.
Irish City. The lamp at the top with the 3 red lamps is the Trinity lamp. Now, the original lamp that was put there in the mid-1800s burnt whale oil, and it was used as a navigational tool. Today, that lamp's just there because we like it. It's pretty. And the story's told of 3 sisters that were standing there looking out to sea, waiting for the husbands and lovers to come back safely. Hopefully not at the same time. You're on Prince William Street, not named for the current Prince William, but one of his predecessors who was a sailor prince. Now, if you look on the door side, you're looking up at very, very old townhouses, well over 100 years old. Even back then, they wanted the view of the harbor. And then across the street are fairly new condominiums.
Bay of Fundy. So she's saying that there's the salt water, there's the fresh, and that line is where they meet. And then this will come up a lot. Pretty view over there.
So this is the bay. Anything to the left of that white line is Bay of Fundy water. The first generation really had a hard time. And then one family in particular, the Vaughan family, heard that they were building wooden ships in Saint John. What St. Martin's has going for it is a 30-foot tide twice a day, a natural dry dock. So the Vaughan family said, well, we're not making it as farmers and we're desperate. Let's try to build one of these wooden vessels. So we're going to be, our first stop is going to be at Vaughan Creek, where that first vessel was built. So the Vaughans went into the woods. They found every crooked tree they could because they didn't have the technology to bend the woods like they would in Saint John. They built that first ship. The neighbors made fun of them. They said that thing is ugly and is not going to float. They named it Rachel after the mother, and they loaded it with lumber and they sailed it across to Nova Scotia. Sold the lumber, came back with money in their pockets. Who's laughing now? The Vaughans. So the neighbors said, okay, maybe this was a good idea. So they started building wooden ships out here. So between 1803 and 1900, there were 500 wooden vessels built out here by families. And it would have been the fathers and sons sailing those vessels. And in 1900, their only reason they stopped was because the steel hull had been invented. But they continued on with lumber. In its heyday, St. Martin's had well over 3,000 people living out here, and they were building the ships and harvesting lumber, and they were a booming community. Today, anybody want to guess how many people live out here year-round? 230. You are going to a very small fishing community. You're going to see some beautiful cliffs. Pass those around in a shortly. Don't worry too much about getting a picture from a jiggly bus. Our second stop in St. Martin's, you'll be right down by the beach, and the cliffs will be exactly the same, and you won't be on a jiggly bus. The exact same type of cliffs that you're going to see in St. Martin's. That rock formation is called Split Rock. You can see why. And you can walk through Split Rock at low tide. You're just getting a peek of it now. At high tide, it's pretty well full of water. Because remember, out here they're getting a 30-foot tide. I did paddle through Split Rock only once. I forgot, nobody told me there's a riptide that goes through there. I got shot out like I was coming out of a cannon on the other side. And then we had to go out to the bay to come back to Duck Pond Beach. Duck Pond Beach is to the left, and it's one of the few sandy beaches out here, and it's absolutely a beautiful beach. The water's very cold, but the scenery's beautiful. Now, if you look at the lobster boats here, you'll see the cradle system I was talking about. So those are put in, when they come in at half tide or greater, they're dropping those ropes. Those cradles are weighted, and as the tide goes out, the cradles will slip under the boats and keep them upright. Now, if everybody, just stop for a second, Terry. If everybody can look straight ahead of the...
So our main stop here in St. Martin was at the little market. Very tiny. There was an ice cream shop, a couple gift stores, gift store across the street. You get to see a bald eagle, but it was way up, so my camera wouldn't have really picked it up for you guys. But that was cool. Wish I would have brought my binoculars with me. I didn't really need them in Maine, but I think I need to take them on the rest of their Canada birds. 2 cover bridges. Wait, there's the other one. Really beautiful. You can pay in American dollars here. You will get either coins, not back at all, they'll keep the coins, or they'll give you Canadian coins back, which is not a big deal to me. We have tons of Canadian coins in Michigan. And you do get the better, price. They will also take cards. Evidently there's a wedding this way. I'm gonna get back on our bus. It's cold. There was also an ice cream shop. They had some really good hot chocolate. All right, we had lunch at the Sea Cave restaurant, and then here's the Sea Caves. You do have to go over rocks or get your feet wet.
Now remember, the yellow curb down here is extra high, and remember where the washrooms are. This will be a 15-minute stop, and we'll get you back on the bus, and then we're going to the Saint John Excursion.
This was very still this morning. Alright, back from the excursion. I have cell phone service again. Well, not cell phone service, but Wi-Fi again. I have a towel animal. I'm gonna go with a bunny. Looks like a bunny to me. I could be wrong. So the excursion was really good. It was a longer one, but we got to see the rapids area twice. One when, it was just kind of normal, and then as the tide comes in and the rapids come in, we got to see that. We got to go to the stone caves. That's not accessible whatsoever. You have to be pretty good on your feet. Rocks are slippery, things like that. I didn't see anybody fall, thank goodness, but I was taking it very slow on those rocks, and my socks did get wet, so I was happy to get those off. The minestrone soup that they gave us was fine. They're really known for their seafood chowder. I don't do fish or scallops, so the seafood chowder wasn't for me. Their biscuit was pretty good. It was nice and warm. The cookie was kind of meh. I don't know why they chose the ginger snap when, most people can get behind a chocolate chip. Most people like chocolate chips, so ginger snap was a weird choice, but it was okay. And they give you a pop or water or a canned iced tea, so that was nice. And then we ended kind of the excursion by going to an Irish pub, and you got either a free beer, white or red wine, or a pop. So I did have the Moosehead's beer, light beer. It was good. I would have liked a little salt to dab in there, but it was good. I cannot, even if I have hours, I generally can't finish a whole glass of beer or a whole bottle of beer. So I think I got about halfway through in the half an hour we were there. But they had someone playing some Irish music. I wasn't in that area, so I didn't really hear that. But it was good. So overall, I would suggest this excursion. Just know it's a longer day. Our tour guide was Bonnie. She was great. Our driver was Terry. He was great. Yeah, it was good. Shopping, if you're like, oh, I love to shop. There's a couple souvenir stores here and there on the adventure. Nothing like the Martha's Vineyard shopping. Like, you know, you're looking at kind of made in China trinkets or like handmade stuff, you know, crafts from people. So I did get a couple magnets. I got an ornament. So yeah. I also got some chocolate, the Saint John's Market. I forgot to talk about that. We did go in there. I didn't record anything of it because it was a little crazy in there. That was probably the least exciting part. I mostly just went through real fast and then bought some stuff at the convenience store that's right next door. So I was happy for the convenience store. I think that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions on that adventure. I'm going to empty out my cup and then we're going to go up and get some food. I don't know if we're going to Windjammers or if we're going to go to the park cafe, but we'll see. All right, we're leaving St. John's. There was 2 ships with us. That one's Regent, Splendor of the Seas, and then that one's the Enchanted Princess or Princess. Our tour guide said that there's often seals on this little island, but I'm not seeing anything, which is a bummer. But there's the old lighthouse, and I guess this is where they used to like bury people with tuberculosis and other contagious things. But all the bodies have been moved and buried properly in the city now. Say hi, Princess. And little boat. They said that Royal's not doing this itinerary next year, but Princess is. You know, and they're the same company, so, or under the same umbrella. There's a couple of people on the rock climbing wall. Rachel's this pool. I've been up here twice now and it's been closed both days. These are their hours, but okay. So you're supposed to open, well, it's past 3, so we're not open. You'd have to be, oh, dang it. You'd have to be very brave soul. Anyways, so I'm good on that. All right, here's the arcade. There's no one in here right now, so I'm going to show you around. So basically, you swipe the Key-Pass card at each thing, and that's how you charge for the games. You know, they do cost, so like one plays $1.50 for this thing. This claw machine is $2.50, so you can get a ducky every time. Oh, those are fun. They have Royal on them. Actually, I might do that. Stuffed animals. The Candy Crush has $2. I know there was a kid that on this cruise that won the PS5 from this. Another one of those stack ones. There's air hockey, which is fun. Or he might have won it from this one. One of the two. I'm not sure. Backup is out of order. So is Super Monkey Ball. Very loud in here. Big Bass. Haunted Park. That's going to cost you $2. Fruit Ninja. I know a lot of people like that. That's $2 as well to play. Couple racers. Oh, and this is your prize hub. So I guess you get points and then you exchange it for something in there. What is this? Operation Ghost by Sega. That's an old one. Guitar Hero. Rambo is out of order. And then Spin a Wheel. And then Bling King. Okay. Well, I kind of want to do Candy Crush. if there's anything else. And I might do the duck room. So I'm not going to do much in here. And then I'm going to go change and then probably go to the real arcade, or the real casino. All right, eating at Giovanni's table. So you have your starters, cheese plate, beef carpaccio, calamari, then your mains, branzino, filet mignon, ossobuco, and then your desserts, cannoli, chocolate hazelnut cake, tiramisu, panna cotta. All right, here is the wine list. Dessert cocktail or dessert wines, and then cocktails in a greenie, Aperol spritz. Oil balsamic and cheese for the bread.
And the canola.
Our bread. Look at this beauty. Got the gnocchi. I feel the heat. The cannolis. All right, future Melissa back again here in a snowy Michigan. We had no snow for Christmas, and then New Year's decided to give us snow. So here we are. So I did not share my thoughts on Giovanni's table that I can find a clip of. So quick on that, it was very good. Do recommend checking out Giovanni's table, especially if you like any sort of Italian. That meat and cheese board was humongous for one person, but I really do think it's a great value for the money. It's yummy, so I would definitely suggest that meat and cheese board. The gnocchi was amazing, very soft. One of the better gnocchis I've had. The sauce on it was great. The only thing maybe I would change about it is, you know, maybe ask for a protein to be added to it because there wasn't any. And then the cannoli, you know, were really great as well. So I think their dessert selection may be the weaker, but it was still really great. So if I had to, you know, give a weakness to something, it would have been to that. Service was also great. It was much quicker than Chops. Got in and out of there very fast. So yeah, I definitely check out Giovanni's table. Let me know if you have any questions. All right. The resource for today's video is actually going to be a website that has a list of other resources. So these are all related to grief support resources. So on here, there is online grief support resources like whatsyourgrief.com, meditationforgrief.com, grieving.com, Children in Loss, so the National Alliance for Grieving Children, neonatal infant death, different resources, loss of a child, sibling loss, suicide loss, loss to overdose. So lots of different connections on this website that could help someone going through bereavement for a variety of reasons. I'll have this linked below. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.